All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week again. It's time for more Kaiju number 8. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to more Kaiju number 8. Last we left off in volume 6, basically Kafka was dealing with some inner turmoil that kept him from turning into his kaiju state, while the rest of the first division were fighting against these giant ant kaiju, all being led and controlled by kaiju number 9. Now, kaiju number 9 is here to take back the kaiju power, this great kaiju power, and as the fighting continues, Kafka gets over his fear of harming others with his power, regains his ability to turn into his kaiju state, and proceeds to basically just decimate number 9, until we learn that all of the versions of number 9 that we've been seeing have not been the real body, because the real body, the one we saw evolve earlier, turns out the great kaiju power it was going after was not Kafka's power, but actually Director General Isao's kaiju number 2 power that he holds in his armor and his weapons. And we also find out that Narumi has the power of kaiju number 1 in his eyes, which allow him to see the brain signals through a kaiju and inside of kaiju, that allows him to basically just be this effortlessly skilled fighter within the Japanese Defense Force. Number 9 and General Isao fight, and near the end of this volume, we get one final clash from Isao, who's pretty much looking like he was on his last legs. And the next thing we see is the aftermath, where General Isao is apparently standing over the body of number 9. Now, I said I was going to hold off what I wanted to say until this particular volume, so let's see. We got chapters 52 all the way through 59, and there's only one illustration extra page in here, so we really don't have long to go. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? First extra day as a 33-year-old. I feel good. But now we're here. And we start with chapter 52. And Isao is saying, this is a flashback. This is a flashback when Isao was speaking to Narumi. Once I've finished assembling the strongest division, I plan on completely stepping down from combat. Narumi. The Defense Force. No, this nation is in your hands. And it cuts to Isao, who's standing over number 9, but his eyes look kind of white. And then Kafka's looking at him, still in his kaiju state, going, Director General, thank goodness you're all... And then Kafka notices something. He notices something, and then he screams at Narumi, Captain Narumi! As we look inside, as we see the inside of number 9, and we don't see anything inside of its carcass. Anything at all. That thing! As Isao turns to Narumi, and it turns out that it's actually number 9. See, this is why I held off. This is why I held off on speaking, because the moment we saw Isao standing over number 9's corpse, I immediately thought Isao lost, and this is actually number 9. That's what I thought in the last volume, but I waited until today in order for this to basically confirm my suspicions, because I was suspicious about Isao being fine and just standing over number 9. Despite seeing that number 9 was really pushed Isao to his absolute limits. I knew it! Because Isao turns and we see the face. We see the face of 9 melded with that of Isao. And number 9 shoots towards Narumi, but Kafka screams, That thing is not the Director General! And Narumi is shocked as number 9 fires at them both, and they both dodge out of the way. And while Narumi and Kafka are covering themselves, a massive explosion erupts from the point of impact from number 9 shooting.
His power is unreal. It's a totally different beast from before. Is this the same?
And then it shows number 9 fully reforming itself. Not only reforming itself, but it also seems to have evolved, because now it has a tail and it has multiple eyes. It no longer has like the multi flat layers that go up its head. Now it has multiple eyes and a tail. Still dark colored. It looks even beefier than when it tried to assault Esau.
Is this the same kaiju number 9?
And then we get Naomi going, "Darn it. Mr. Esau, where are you? Please respond, Mr. Esau!"
Ah, Esau. You mean the suitable one. I killed him and fused with him.
As it shows number 9 messing with its head, and it takes out the earpiece that Esau had. Esau is gone. Esau is gone.
I killed him and fused with him.
And both Kafka and Naomi are livid. And then Naomi goes, "Who in the? And we get Kikoru. Who jumps up above 9 and goes,
"Who in the world would ever believe that lie?"
And she immediately fires on number 9.
Kikoru! I see. You're this man's daughter, huh?
As it starts to form Esau's face into its own. It starts to peel its face away and form Esau's face underneath, which stun locks Kikoru.
Look away, Kikoru!
And then we get Naomi, who's right there in front of number 9, going,
"What did you do to my officer?"
And Naomi is using the power of kaiju number 1, and it slashes directly into number 9.
So this is the inescapable attack you used on Beta.
Squadron style bayonet technique number 1, eruption slash! And Naomi slashes all over number 9, and it causes, from the impact itself, it just causes many explosions all over 9's body. Then it cuts back to Naomi thinking about what Esau said earlier.
This nation is in your hands.
Mr. Esau, I swear, in your stead, I won't let number 9 escape. I'll personally neutralize it once and for...
Sorry. I'm going to call it a day.
And number 9 immediately grows wings out of its back and proceeds to get prepared to fly away.
You what? There are adverse effects right after fusing, so I'm leaving.
Quit playing games. And then Naomi he literally just snap your fingers and he's gone. And he's right above number 9.
There's no way I'm letting you escape!
And he lands directly on 9.
This power is useful when dealing with enemies in smaller numbers. But if your enemy has superior defense abilities, then...
Oh, wait, this is 9 saying this. Sorry.
That power is useful when dealing with enemies in smaller numbers. But if your enemy has superior defensive abilities, then you're powerless.
And it shows that Naomi has stabbed into 9, but 9 is unfazed and prepares to blast Naomi point blank using a blast from its mouth.
Ah,
And it shows Kafka is right next to number 9. Give the director general back now! And then Kafka lands like an enhanced punch directly into 9. Kafka lands a punch directly into 9's midsection.
last time I was helpless, but this time I see through you. Kaiju number 8.
And it shows 9 fully catching the fist of Kafka with not that much adverse effects to its arm. Mind you, its arm is shredded from taking the attack, but 9 has adapted. Not only is it surviving by having this bayonet stabbed into it by Narumi, but he also caught the punch of Kafka and tanked the punch, which has been shown to just absolutely shred Kaiju. Hold on, let me get chat over to the side so I can see you guys. Because I forgot my phone was getting charged up. So I forgot to put it over there with me. Please forgive me. Sorry about that, everybody. Let me get you all over here so I can see everyone. There we go. Late happy birthday to you. I thought I watched Volume 6, but I must have missed it, so gotta go back and catch up. Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure that I am not jumping the gun. I know I'm not jumping the gun. I know I'm not. Because I already did... Yeah, we did 6 last week. I had a little bit of a brain fart there, but we're good. But yeah, had a little bit of a brain fart, but we're all cleared out. Okay.
But this time, I see through you. Kaiju number 8.
And the chapter ends with number 9 catching Kafka's punch and ignoring Narumi. Onwards! We only got one illustration page here, and it shows Narumi. It shows Hoshina, Ichikawa, Kafka, Kikoru in a Humvee, and Kikoru on a motorcycle. And that's about it. All right, onwards to chapter 53. And then chapter 53, and we begin with number 9 and Kikoru.
Daddy's killer is right in front of me. And yet...
And it shows Narumi and Kafka fighting against this evolved 9, who's basically just not moving and is just dealing with all of their attacks so nonchalantly.
I'm completely helpless.
As Kikoru watches the monster that has basically consumed Isao, fighting against 2 of the strongest fighters in the Japanese Defense Force, and it's not even really phased. Because not only do the wings of number 9 also offer it flight, it can also serve as extra fighting appendages, as it's deflecting blows from both Kafka and Narumi at the same time. And Kafka's getting hurt, Narumi is getting scuffed up. This thing, even with Captain Narumi and me double-teaming it. And Kafka tries punching number 9 again, but 9 meets his fist, and it actually causes recoil from Kafka to the point where it kind of starts to impact his arm and tear through it a little, sending him reeling it a little bit.
All right, I'm going home now.
And then it shows number 9's arm suddenly falling off.
Huh?
And both Narumi and Kafka notice this. Number 8! Don't let up on him! And Narumi immediately goes for 9, who shields himself using one of his wings. An inescapable attack! As Narumi's blade embeds itself in his flesh, despite him putting his wing up to defend himself.
The adverse effects are fusing. They're preventing me from hardening.
And then it cuts to Kafka, who punches him directly into his midsection to the point where we see the bones underneath.
The main problem here is number 8.
I'm not gonna let you get away! I swear it. All of this, is just too darn much! And then we cut to Kafka, who lands another blow on number 9, sending him kind of reeling from this.
Since my regeneration is being hampered, the adverse effects are accelerating. No doubt about it, the last obstacle standing in my way is you, number 8. And it shows more and more of number 9's body falling apart. Like its leg is starting to fall off, its other arm is starting to fall off. It's still trying to regenerate the other one. Just one final push. It's too bad, but neither of you will stop me.
And it shows number 9's, like his body plates, they all start opening up. Like it just, the flaps just open up and energy starts crackling from around him.
This will bring things to an end. This will bring things to an end.
And as we see Kafka and Narumi, there is like this massive shockwave that emanates from number 9, that flattens everything around. And only Kafka and Narumi are withstanding it, but it's just this massive shockwave to keep them from getting close.
Kafka Hibino! Captain Narumi!
And even Kikoru can't even keep herself safe. Well, she can. All she can do is just shield herself. And then it shows number 9 preparing to fly up in the air, and his torso falls off. Like his torso separates from his legs, and it just falls off like meat off the bone. It just falls off.
Guess I'm at my limit. Almost lost the body I fought so hard to get.
But it shows that Kafka and Narumi are still alive despite 9 unleashing this massive shockwave.
We survived.
Say your prayers, you no good!
I should have done this from the start.
As Narumi looks as number 9 separates his face and creates 2 separate heads and aims at both Kikoro and Kurusu. You know, the scientist that stayed behind to continuously aid Isao despite everything. It separates its head in order to create 2 ways for it to fire at Kikoru and Kurusu at the same time. It intends for Narumi and Kafka to choose between either trying to kill it or save the lives of Kikoru and Kurusu. So that way it can get away.
Huh?
You scumbag! And it fires at both of them.
You're unable to abandon those lying before you. Humans are such strange creatures.
And we see number 9 starting to turn its face into that of Isao.
Goodbye, Kaiju number 8. The next time I make a move.
And as he's transforming, as 9 is transforming, it transforms its head into that of Isao, and then it cuts to Kafka rescuing Kikoru, and Narumi jumping in front of Kurusu, and they both shield them from this massive explosion. 9 says,
"The next time I make a move will mark the start of the Kaiju era."
And number 9 flies away. We just lost General Isao. And the power of Kaiju number 2. Oh my goodness. This is only chapter 53? And there's like 100 and something chapters right now? We just lost General Isao. But that's the end of 53. Onwards to 54. And we just get a dust cloud from just the explosion from Kafka and Naotomi protecting Kurusu and Kikoru. And then we get Kafka, who's buried under some rubble, but he protected Kikoru. And all that's left is just a flattened area. Just a whole flattened space. And then in the distance, we have Naotomi, who you know how All Might protected that civilian during his final fight with All for One? The second to final fight with All for One. The whole space behind Naotomi was completely protected, but everything else was just completely flattened and destroyed.
The next time I make a move will mark the start of the Kaiju era.
Don't you dare say crap like that with the Director General's face! Darn it! And then Kafka just screams out. Kikoru is unconscious now. But then it cuts to Naotomi, who just hangs his head down low. Eiji and everyone else hears the news, and Kafka, while his transformation dissipates, he's just crying underneath. And now we get cut to 2 days later.
Now, in tragic news, the Neutralization Bureau has announced that in the most recent Kaiju cataclysm, Defense Force Director General Isao Shinomiya died in the line of duty. For more than 30 years, since his days as captain, Mr. Shinomiya served at the heart of Japan's Kaiju neutralization efforts. News of his untimely death is expected to have a profound impact on the Defense Force and send shockwaves of grief throughout the organization.
And then it cuts to everyone at Ariake Maritime Base, the 1st Division, and everyone is basically dressed in funeral attire. Eiji, Naotomi, everybody. And we are wow. We are literally here at the funeral of General Isao. We got his picture, tons of flowers all around. And then Itami gives the okay. Rifles, ready. Aim. Fire! And everyone gives a final salute to Isao. Everyone, and the other person that was working with Itami before they all left, he's crying. The dude with the eye patch, he's crying. Kafka is trying to hold back tears, but everyone gives that final salute. Fire! Tachikawa Base, 3rd Division. And then we get Mina with everyone on her crew, from Hoshina and everyone down the line. Then we cut to Matsumoto Base, 4th Division. They're all saluting. Then we cut to Kanazawa Base, 2nd Division. And mind you, in the 3rd Division, Mina's the captain. In Matsumoto Base 4th Division, we got this dude with slick back hair. Kind of reminds me of Colonel May Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist, except he has like a very spiky beard. And then we cut to Kanazawa Base on the 2nd Division. We have what appears to be this very tall, well-built woman. And she looks absolutely upset while everyone just continues to give a salute. And then we cut to Itami screaming, fire! But then we cut to Isao's office, and Kikoru is in there, sitting in her father's chair. And she's crying. Kafka's looking around, noticing that she's not actually there.
Guess you didn't show up after all, Kikoru.
And then someone steps into Isao's office. And it's Narumi.
Are you sure you're okay with not attending the service?
I wasn't able to do anything. I was too late to make an impact and too weak to save him. It's my fault that it escaped.
That's not true.
Captain Narumi.
And then Kikoru gets up.
I want to become stronger.
And Kikoru. Now, here's the thing about Kikoru. She's one of those characters where her emotional state also affects her hair. So when she's like full of energy, her hair is trademarked zigzaggy. But here, she is so devoid of any energy. And she's apparently been crying so much her eyes are red. But she is so sad right now that her hair is just drooping. It lacks any of that pointy zigzag nature to it. I like how they illustrate this here. But she's crying, snot coming out of her nose, tears all over her face. Just her face is drenched in tears. And she just says,
I want to become stronger. I'm sure Daddy is still trapped inside of that thing. I will mourn him when the defense force neutralizes that creature once and for all.
Then Narumi, taken aback at first, then gets serious.
I'm sorry for losing my composure, sir. I will accept the penalty for my unauthorized absence.
Shinomiya. And then Narumi interrupts her. By the next time we encounter that thing, I'll make sure your strength is unrivaled by all but my own. Woo! Oh, I like how he says this. There's a certain way that characters can be written and their dialogue has to be good, but by the next time we encounter that thing, I'll make sure your strength is unrivaled by all but my own. I'll take what Mr. Esau drilled into me and drill it into you. Keep up and show me results. Do that and I'll overlook your absence at the service. And Hikaru, finding her resolve, her hair becoming spiky again, she just nods her head and she goes,
Yes, sir.
And Kafka was listening to the entire thing. And then Kafka was not only listening to the entire thing, but he's got that same determined, angry look on his face, too. And then he looks at his hand, and then it looks like he kind of partially transformed from the anger, because he's got like a spike sticking out of his hand. I swear, I'm going to kick number 9's. I'm going to kick number 9's behind. I'm going to kick his butt. I can't use profanity. It's a personal rule. I can't. And he gets up and he starts walking away as well. And that's the end of chapter 54. Onwards to chapter 55. And we cut to someone using a chainsaw. Oh, it's the cleanup crew. Bah, darn it. The shell's too hard. The blade's not holding up. Hey, Toku, using the heat chainsaws on these feels like a waste of time and money. Yeah, screw it. Cut at the joints. We'll break them down in the bunker. The way we're swarming these carcasses, I bet we're the ones starting to look like ants. As it cuts to the cleanup crew as they're working on all of the ant kaiju from the fight of the 1st Division. Kaiju number 8. Chapter 55. And then we cut to some members of Kafka's old cleanup crew. I wonder what's gonna happen now. What's that? I mean, the Isao Shinomiya got taken out. Back when I was a kid, I believed he was invincible. There are already people fleeing the country to avoid another disaster caused by number 9. We should hurry up ourselves and get... You idiot! I'm not running away. If we run away, who's gonna clean up the carcass after the defense force kicks number 9's behind? And then everyone else on the crew is, silent. And then dude walks away. That Toku... And then Toku walks away. That Toku can be pretty cool sometimes. Despite being a drunk. And a gambling addict who owes me 50 grand. Shut your traps!
The Japanese defense force ain't gonna take this line down. Ain't that right, Kafka?
Then we cut to the Ariake Maritime Base as Kikoru is training with that one female member of the 1st Division. I forget her name. Please forgive me. Also, if I'm closing one eye, it's because it feels like there's something on my eye and it's bothering me. I think I got it. It was an eyelash. But Kikoru is doing some staff training with one of the members of the 1st Division.
Ha!
And while she's clashing, this woman sidesteps Kikoru before she can react, and Kikoru is going,
She threw off my rhythm.
but then the woman points the staff directly at Kikoru's throat. Shinonome. Sorry, Shinonome.
Platoon leader Shinonome. She excels at gaining distance when needed. No wonder she can wield that giant firearm in battle.
Because Shinonome wields a giant Gatling gun. I'm so bored. Man, I wonder when you're gonna get to a level where I can take you on myself. And then Kikoru gets upset because I want to say that Narumi is playing on a Switch. That's a Switch. Dude is playing on a Switch. What you got on there? You got some new Super Mario Bros? What you got? You got Bayonetta 3? I would imagine Narumi is a fan of games that require high levels of skill for you to be effortless. This Joker's playing either Astral Chain or he's playing Bayonetta. Calling it, he's playing Bayonetta. No, it looks like he's playing a first-person shooter because I see him aiming down the sights. And he must have a Switch Lite because I don't see the edges for Joy-Cons. Like I don't see like the lining of like a Joy-Con controller. I don't see it. So you must have a Switch Lite. All the time you've been in the Defense Force and you can't afford an actual Switch? What's going on? Joker must have an OLED. No, he doesn't have an OLED. I just said Switch Lite. Ignore me. Every 1st Division platoon leader is talented enough to someday reach the rank of captain. I'll give you about a month, the time it'll take for me to beat this game. In that time, I expect you to surpass all of them. Unless you're that caliber of prodigy, you're not gonna cut it. Now, let's get this game started. And then Eiji comes in and just kicks away Narumi. You need to get started on your work. And then, while Shinonome is looking at Narumi being kicked around by Eiji, Kikoru speaks up.
Platoon leader Shinonome. One more round, if you'd please. Sheesh, eager to surpass me by the deadline, is she? Now that I have a subordinate laying on the heat, I can't help but get all fired up. Bring it on.
And then Kikoru and Shinonome just continue to fight. Then we come back to Eiji. Well, have you made up your mind about how to handle Kaiju number 8? Now that Mr. Isar is no longer with us, the decision to accept number 8 as part of our forces or not lies solely with you. And then we get something coming into Narumi. Boop, 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 boop. Captain Narumi, Vice Captain Hasegawa, we have an update on number 8. His Kaijufication is progressing? His power is evolving? It's progressing? Yeah. His Kaijufication is progressing? Yes, sir. There's now a spot on his body that won't revert to human form. While I can't say for certain given the unprecedented nature of this event, should he continue to transform, then eventually, he might not be able to return to human form ever again. That's what that spike was on his hand. It wasn't a matter of him transforming out of anger. It's just that part of his body won't transform back. And because they have Kafka currently under right now. And both Eiji and Narumi are just listening to the potential that Kafka may not be able to return to being a human again. Huh. Then we cut back to Kafka, who's just sitting on a bench on the roof as the sun's setting. I'm guessing they found out about my hand. Will the defense force even allow me to keep fighting? I don't want to see my comrades hurt anymore. I have to take number 9 down. So, here's the thing. I was incorrect in thinking that Kafka has like a spike coming out of his hand. That's just a portion of his hand that's just changed now. It's just changed. There's just a patch of kaiju skin that is just there permanently now. I have to take number 9 down. And then someone steps up to the roof. Well, someone comes up to the roof and sits down. And it's Narumi. And he's sitting on a completely separate bench from Kafka, but they're across from each other. And there's just nothing but silence right now. I'll get to the point. We can't let you stay in the defense force. I'm sure you know the reason why. If you keep transforming, you might lose the ability to return to human form. I can't let someone fight in that condition. I knew it. But even so, That being said, and that catches Kafka off guard. With all that in mind, let me say this. Lend me your power, Kafka Hibino! And he just grabs Kafka by the scruff of his shirt. And this is significant because this is the only double spread panel where it's in color like this. It's in color. I don't give a darn if you completely turn into a kaiju. If you do, I'll just kill you. What matters most is neutralizing number 9, by any means necessary. You feel the same, don't you? The only ones who understand the burden we bear are the people who were out there that day. Us! There's no way you'd sit here and tell me you're backing out. And then he lets go of Kafka. I have a place that I'm trying to reach. After everyone's opposition, the Director General helped forge a path for me to get here. I'm ready and willing, sir! And then Kafka just hits both of his fists together, anger veins over his face. That's so. Then come with me. From here on out, it's the Defense Force's turn to strike back. Then we cut to Tachikawa City, Tokyo. And then we cut to a large door with number 36. And then we get Hoshina. So, you're finally awake, eh? You sure had one sound nap, didn't ya? Kaiju number 10. Oh my goodness, Kaiju number 10! They have the skull of Kaiju, the skull and spine, and I want to say a part of Kaiju number 10, inside of this large vat, in this vault number 6. Because I was thinking to myself, there's no way that this is Kaiju number 36 because we just got to 10. But they have the body, they have the remains and head of Kaiju number 10 sealed in this vat, and Hoshina's there. That's how we end the chapter? Oh, yes, please. We're kind of skimming through these chapters. I'm going to be honest. This might wind up being a little bit of a short live reaction for this volume because we're getting through this relatively fast. Either that or my ability to describe these scenes for you have become refined and I can just get through a chapter quickly. Either one of those things. And then we have chapter 56.
Vice Captain Hoshina!
And then it's Okonogi, because Hoshina is training again. What's the matter, Okonogi? You look pale.
It's awakened! Number 10! Number 10 has regained consciousness in captivity!
Because it shows all the scientists as number 9's eye is wide open and it's just looking at everybody. Is that a fact? Then see if you can get any information on number 9 or the other kaiju out of it in...
Well, about that, it says it won't speak to anyone but you, Vice Captain.
It what? And then we cut back into the room where 10 is being held. A fortitude level of 5.7? Unbelievable! Even in that state, it's still capable of emitting this much energy. Its head alone is outputting a fortitude of 5.7. Not even its full body, just its head. It's not going to regenerate, is it? And then we have Captain Mina.
Don't worry. The core is too damaged for that to happen.
Open up. Vice Captain! Roger! So, you're finally awake, eh? You sure had one sound nap, didn't ya? Kaiju number 10. And then Hoshino's just staring, and 10 is staring back at him. And then 10 just screams out loud. And it's so loud that just the output of this energy, it doesn't shatter the vat that it's in, but it's enough to cause a shockwave to permeate throughout the entire room and rattle literally everyone. Its pressure is unreal. So this is an unidentified class threat. The Vice Captain went hand to hand with a monster like this? Keep it down, idiot. Do that again and I'll cut your behind down.
Swordsman, I knew you weren't like the others. I would have loved to feed on you for sustenance.
Please be careful, sir. We're not sure what it might do.
I'm going to cut to the chase. There's a kaiju we call number 9. If you know anything about this kaiju, then spit it out. And then 10 is quiet. Mina's listening. And then 10 goes,
Sure, I don't mind. I was created by them after all.
A kaiju that creates other kaijus? I'm sorry, a kaiju that can create other kaijus. And this shocks everyone. This shocks everyone. The idea that a kaiju could create another kaiju. Created?
But on one condition. Let me out of here and fight with me.
And then Hoshino's kind of quiet. Mina's quiet too. And then he goes, sorry, corner of eye itches. I hate it when that happens. Afraid I can't do that. Besides, with that damaged core of yours, you're not capable of regenerating enough to be in fighting
No, I already know that. That isn't what I meant. Your group has the technology to weaponize my body, right? You will weaponize and wear me. Hand your body over to me.
As number 10, as kaiju number 10 starts regenerating enough to have an upper torso. They just said that this thing's core was too damaged for it to regenerate. And it just regenerated its upper torso.
You will weaponize and wear me. Hand your body over to me.
And Mina and Okonogi are like,
A kaiju asking to be weaponized? This is too risky, Vice Captain. Weaponizing a kaiju with a will of its own is unprecedented. We have no idea what effect it would have on the user.
My fight with you was fun. It was like being in a dream.
oh, okay. So it can regenerate itself, but the regeneration doesn't last, and its body just starts falling apart, like literally atomizing. It starts literally falling off. Wow, okay, so its core really is damaged. Because it can't sustain its own body mass. It just melts away off of its bones.
My fight with you was fun. It was like being in a dream.
Get real. That wasn't fun in the least.
Enough with your worthless lies. I fought you, so I know. You were clearly enjoying the fight too. You and I are alike.
I like doing these kaiju voices. These are fun. I like doing them. And Hoshino's quiet.
I'm certain you can understand. So long as a thrilling, blood-pumping battle is in store, it doesn't matter if you're up against a human or a kaiju.
I love doing these kaiju voices. I love them. This is fun. Mina's quiet. Okonogi is still taken aback from this kaiju asking to be turned into a weapon. And then Hoshina goes, give me some time. Sit tight. And then Vault 36 closes, and Hoshina's just standing there. And then Hoshina gets on the intercom and goes, Okonogi, dear, the heck's with that thing? It scares the crap out of me. And then Okonogi is just like, ah! I mean, who loves fighting that freak much? Who loves fighting that freaking much? It was really hounding me too, and on top of that, I felt like I was in physical danger. Boy, I sure don't want to wear that thing.
I'm opposed as well. Not only is there no precedent for this, we also have no idea what it might be scheming. Then there's a risk of it actually taking control of your body to consider.
Even so, that thing is the only source of information we have. I guess sacrifices have to be made. And then Hoshina sighs. Captain, I'm going to agree to its demands. And then Mina listens and she goes, okay then, we'll wager on your decision. I'll request that headquarters weaponize number 10. And then Hoshina comes back. Sheesh. I sure got myself one weird admirer. Talk.
It's a deal then? Fine.
And then we cut to Hoshina going, but let's make one thing clear. You ain't gonna be using me. I'm gonna be using you. And while Hoshina is grinning, there's like a very, very bothered vein popping up on his face. But it also shows Kaiju number 10 smiling. Kaiju number 8, episode 6, The Compatible User. And that's the end of chapter 56. Onwards to chapter 57. We're making very good time today, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are. Chapter 57. And we get some scientists who are on an elevator. Did you hear the news? The 3rd Division is on its way here. Captain Ashido? No, Vice Captain Hoshina. Seriously? This is the first time in 3 years, isn't it? Apparently, they have some new info on the number 9 cataclysm. I'm guessing that info came from number 10, the kaiju they have on lockdown. But if Captain Hoshina is repping them... Yeah, things might get out of hand. And then we cut to a track, like a track and field location. Enough! Morning drills are over! Vice Captain Hoshina is coming... Wait, fight... And it cuts to Kikoru and Kafka. Vice Captain Hoshina is coming here to Ariake? Indeed, for an anti-number 9 conference. And then while Kafka's thinking, he thinks to himself, Vice Captain Hoshina, I haven't been able to apologize to him for hiding my identity after what happened. Anyway, where's Narumi?
Last I saw, he walked off with the other officers somewhere.
Well, that isn't good.
What isn't good?
The 1st and 3rd Divisions both claim Tokyo as their main turf, inviting constant comparisons between the two of them. This leads to a sizable amount of territorial bickering and headbutting. Essentially, they get along like cats and dogs. And it shows the 1st Division with Narumi basically sizing up the 3rd Division with Vice Captain Hoshina.
And they're all just staring each other down. Like, they can't stand. This is literally a drumline face-off against opposing schools. This is literally that. Everyone is just staring each other down because they're just so bothered by them.
Hoshina, who gave you permission to step foot on my turf, bub?
My, so very good of you to personally welcome us, Captain Narumi. Our permission came from the even higher-ups at headquarters, so please don't put yourself out on our account.
Nuh-uh, I don't think so. This base is off-limits to bowl cuts and beady eyes, and you fall under both of those categories.
My, oh my, might you still be holding a grudge by chance? I mean, I would always outperform you in the miniature-sized kaiju combat category of our neutralization exercises. And then the words of, I would always outperform you. And it just goes directly into Narumi's ear. And he just falls to the ground from this verbal stabbing.
Oh no, Captain! Hey, the heck do you think you're doing?
We ain't doing jack.
We still haven't settled the score for Suginami last month. How dare you go neutralizing in our jurisdiction?
A handful of you got into Mitaka. We took down the Honju by extension.
Say what? You gotta ask for our permission first, idiot.
You expect us to ask every darn time? That's the problem with you elite types.
Yeah, you tell him. You all tell him. Besides, Hoshina only broke the record for slaying miniature-sized kaiju. I hold literally every other title.
And Narumi's getting in on this as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Captain Ashido have a lock on the long-distance shooting category? And that stabs Narumi in the verbal ear again.
Oh no, Captain! Why would you tell such an obvious lie? Shut up, shut up, shut up! Whatever the case, I don't approve, so get the heck out and make it snappy!
And then Eiji comes in and slams Narumi over the head. Enough! And then all the other soldiers immediately stand at attention and goes, Greetings, Vice Captain Hasagawa, sir! Been a while, Soshiro. Indeed, good to see you, Mr. Hasagawa. Preparations for the divisional conference are complete. Follow me. And then everything calms down. And then it cuts to like this very large conference room, and it appears to show all the captains of different divisions all over on like big screens while they're preparing to have this big conference. Ooh, we're about to get introduced to new people. And then we have Itami. I see we're all here. In that case, let's begin the Anti-Number 9 Eastern Divisional Conference. First Division Captain Gen Narumi. First Division Vice Captain Eiji Hasagawa. Second Division Captain Jura Igarashi. And she apparently has braces? Second Division Captain Jura Igarashi. Does she have braces? Or are her teeth just very, very grit? I think she has braces. Third Division Captain Mina Ashido. Third Division Vice Captain Soshiro Hoshina. Fourth Division Captain Jugo Ogata. And then Jura speaks up. Hey, Narumi! You think, let me see, what would be a good voice for Jura? What would be a good voice for her? What would be a good voice for her? Hey, Narumi! You think I don't see you slacking off over there, yawning with your mouth wide open like an idiot? I'll kill you! Get bet, musclehead. When I yawn, it's my choice, got that? Enough, Jura. It's the same old story. We all know the only redeeming talent Narumi has is slaying kaiju. Hold up, Ashido. That's like 10 times worse than what Igarashi said. Yeah, there. Let's get along now. This is our first meetup in the while, after all.
And you're drinking, aren't you? I can see the darn bottle.
Oops. Order! Esau, I swear, you have some nerve dying and foisting these short-fused knuckleheads on me. Get to the topic at hand, Soshiro Hoshina. Newly appointed Defense Force Director, General Director Keiji Itami. So, to fill in for the spot that Isao left behind, Itami is now the Director General. Get to the topic at hand, Soshiro Hoshina. Roger. The 3rd Division has gained new intel on Number 9. To cut straight to the point, the Number 9 Cataclysm is not something the 1st Division can handle on its own. What's the source of this intel? Number 10, currently under our custody. It made quite the shocking revelation. It said it was created by Number 9. And this gets everyone's attention, especially Jugo and Eiji. Especially Jura and Eiji.
Number 9 created that 9.042 kaiju? That monstrosity?
Yes, Kaiju Number 9 is very likely to be the first kaiju in history capable of intentionally creating extremely powerful new breeds of kaiju. It also went on to say,
I'm his prototype. I want to fight the finished products created after me.
And then Jura is thinking to herself,
a fortitude of 9.0, and it was the prototype?
Currently, our forces are said to be able to handle about 5 identified class threats at one time. Add an identified class threat over fortitude 9.5 to the mix, and that number becomes even smaller. Now what if Number 9 is creating more superpowered kaiju than we could ever handle? Unless we cooperate, I can't even speak. What is the word cooperate? Unless we cooperate across division boundaries, this nation is doomed. Because it cuts to Number 9, who has taken to creating the face and body structure of Isao, and it's slowly reforming its body because it's still dealing with the adverse effects of fusing with Isao. It's sitting in this weird-looking amalgamation of a throne as other kaiju are being grown around it. Like, all these different kaiju are just in these cocoons, and they're all just hanging from the roof, this cave of wherever it is. Unless we cooperate across division boundaries, this nation is doomed. But yeah, Number 9 is already creating even more kaiju. And that's the end of chapter 57. Onwards to 58! Unless we cooperate across division boundaries, this nation is doomed. Then it cuts to Narumi, Jura, and I can't believe I just forgot this guy's name already. Jugo. Jura and Jugo. Okay, there we go. All right, back on track. Narumi, Jura, Jugo, then Hoshina is silent. And then Jugo speaks up. A kaiju that makes new breeds. Color me skeptical, but what if Number 10 is simply lying? That, of course, is a possibility. However, I'd like to draw your attention to this data. The number of kaiju emergencies in recent years, the surge in new breeds, and the yearly average of kaiju fortitude doubling from 2.6 to 4.8 all coincide with this intel. As you're all aware, there's still much we don't know about the mechanisms behind kaiju emergencies. But studies in recent years have given credibility to the theory that the immense energy and strain produced by faults in the earth act upon underground substances in nearby plants and animals to produce kaiju. Number 9 appears to be intentionally taking advantage of this phenomenon to create kaiju. Do we have info on the location? And this is Eiji. Given it moves from location to location, taking on various forms, their current whereabouts are unknown. If we take energy sources immense enough to produce multiple identified class Daikaiju into consideration, we suspect Number 9 would be somewhere along the border of the Philippine Sea Plate and the Eurasian Plate, lurking in a domain that humanity cannot access. So Number 9 is taking refuge in an underground cave inside of a trench far too deep for any average human to get down to. That's way too broad of a range. It'll take us years just to pin... That's way too broad of a range. It'll take us years just to pin down their location.
Are you saying we have no other choice but to wait till they make a move?
Adding to that, and this is Captain Mina speaking up.
Adding to that, Number 10 has stated Number 9 can access the memories of the humans it assimilates. There's a chance that assimilating the Director General has allowed it to learn about the Defense Force's capabilities.
And it cuts to Narumi and the shocked and the angered face of Jura. And then back to Hoshina. Basically, our goal now is to see how many surprise factors we can implement in the next few months, before Number 9 starts making its next set of moves.
Surprise factors?
Yes, factors that lie outside of Number 9's assessment of our forces, ones that aren't currently a part of our core roster. They're still green and imperfect, but that's precisely why they have the potential to improve dramatically in a short time frame. The development of these young talents is the key to our success, and it's honing in and bringing forth to all the upstarts in third division, such Ichikawa, Iharashi, Aoi, everyone else.
The most significant task we'll face is prepping to use the long-dormant ultimate weapon. We need to train a compatible user for weapon number 6.
Number's weapon 6. The weapon said to be the strongest and most dangerous of them all.
And then we cut to Itami. So, you plan on pitting the former king of Kaiju against the newly crowned one?
You found a compatible user?
And then Hoshina clicks a button. At the moment, we have a cell sample from a certain rookie that shows signs of properly syncing with Number 6. No neutralization university schooling, average entrance exam scores, a complete run-of-the-mill officer. His name is... And then it cuts away because we don't see this person's face yet. And we cut to a kaiju just barreling through a town. Iharu, get down! And Iharu gets down. And the kaiju immediately gets set upon by all these shots out of nowhere. And the person who's in the air lands in front of Iharu. As the kaiju goes down, Reno Ichikawa, a young talent who has been making rapid strides. That's the person they have in line to use the former power of the former king of Kaiju. Ichikawa is in line. His name is Reno Ichikawa, a young talent who has been making rapid strides. And it shows Ren Ichikawa's face and Mina. Sorry, my bad. This is not Hoshina who's saying this. Mina is the one saying this.
At the moment, we have a cell sample from a certain rookie that shows signs of properly syncing with Number 6. No neutralization university schooling, average entrance exam scores, a completely run-of-the-mill officer. His name is Reno Ichikawa, a young talent who has been making rapid strides.
And that's the way we end chapter 58. Onwards to 59, and that is pretty much going to be the last reading for this particular volume. Hold on, let me double check and make sure. Yeah, 59 is going to be the last chapter for volume 7. And then we cut to another location. And I think it's a flashback.
Status.
Greetings, Captain Shinomiya. Oh, Kikuru's mom. The artillery unit is still attacking, ma'am. We've shot down 3 Yoju, but our efforts are still proving ineffective against the Honju.
Good work. So that's number 6.
And it is this gigantic kaiju that towers over other smaller honju and yoju around it. It is just this absolutely gigantic and titanic-sized kaiju that basically eclipses the town that it's walking towards.
It's pretty much the king of kaiju.
Kaiju number 8, chapter 59. Nagano Prefecture, Matsumoto Base. And we cut to Captain Jugo. Reno Ichikawa. So, he's the candidate for the number 6 suit, huh? 4th Division Captain Jugo Ogata. You know what? I'm gonna change his accent because I already have Jura having the Scottish accent a little bit, and I don't want to confuse it with Jugo and Jura having the same type of voice. So I'm just gonna give him
Reno Ichikawa. So he's the candidate for number 6's suit, huh?
Yeah, this fits better. This fits better.
They've stuck us with one heck of a problem, child, haven't they, Toko, my dear?
You're on duty, sir.
As Jugo is pouring yet another drink. This dude has so many drinks in his office right now. Like the cover page just shows him with a sake jug and multiple jugs of wine just all over.
You're on duty, sir.
He reminds me of Shunsui, and Toko reminds me of Nanao. They're literally the Shunsui Kyoraku and Nanao Issei of this story.
They've stuck us with one heck of a problem, child, haven't they, Toko, my dear?
You're on duty, sir.
Cut me some slack. I'm buckling under the weight of all this responsibility dropped on my lap.
If that were true, you wouldn't be nonchalantly plucking your nose hairs.
I assure you, I have plenty on my mind. Kaiju number 6. Not only did it boast combat abilities at a fortitude level of 9.6, it also incited a massive cataclysm after mounting an attack with several Honju-class threats in tow. With Captain Hikari Shinomiya leading the charge, the 2nd Division intercepted it in Odawara. The 1st Division later converged and offered relief, finally neutralizing the threat, albeit at the cost of many lives.
And he's reading the paper of how basically Shinomiya perished during this fight with the King of Kaiju.
Along with the rare snowstorm blowing into Odawara, that monster is ingrained in people's memories to this day as a symbol of despair. And now we're trying to push that thing off onto a teenager.
Come on.
Come on, Eve, not even after my eloquent little monologue.
And Toko immediately takes the sake away from him.
Come on, not even after my eloquent little dialogue?
Absolutely not.
Captain Ogata! And someone walks in. Reno Ichikawa is ready to go, sir. And then Jugo just goes like, And then we cut to Ichikawa, who's preparing to be tested. We will now commence the weapon number 6 compatibility test. And then we cut back in time before Reno gets into this room to be tested.
Me? Using weapon number 6? Are you familiar with the numbers weapons?
I am aware of their existence, but I've never seen them.
I see. Then listen up. The numbers weapons are powerful enough to allow someone to dispose of a Daikaiju solo with proper handling. However, due to the extreme physical toll it takes on the body, along with the increased chance of seeing frontline combat, half of numbers weapons users die before they're discharged. The weapon said to be the most powerful and dangerous among them is number 6. I'm aware that what I'm about to say is inappropriate for a Defense Force officer sworn to protect this nation, but I'll be frank. I think you should turn this offer down.
And then it cuts away from this flashback to Ichikawa now.
I heard that he is now part of the Defense Force's lineup as Kaiju number 8. But if that's the case, then what about his dreams? Who is going to save him?
And Ichikawa, even though he's about to be tested, he can only think of Kafka. Captain Ogata, please proceed.
That kid has a fire in his eyes.
Initiating Numbers Weapon 6. Numbers Weapon 6. Form a simulation. Neuralink. All clear. It's only equipped to my arms, but it feels like it's sucking up my strength. I won't give in. Hey, Toko. Send for a stretcher. As it shows Ichikawa and just the face of Kaiju number 6 staring directly at him, like the facsimile of its face just directly in front of him. What is this? And then all of a sudden there's just a snap as I guess Ichikawa blacks out. I see. So this is what you've been contending with all this time, huh, sir? And Ichikawa starts to slowly open up as someone's going, Reno! 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 And it's Iharu. Iharu.
Thank goodness, you woke up.
Where am I?
Don't worry, you're in the infirmary.
I see. So that means I failed to match with number 6. And then it cuts to Jugo, who's in the room with Iharu.
Now do you have a clear picture of the terror that accompanies using a numbers weapon?
Captain.
The strain you experienced came from wearing only parts of the weapon. Can you imagine what would have happened if you had worn the entire thing? I'll advise you one more time. You should turn this down.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good idea.
Captain Ogata, I will do this. And then, okay, Reno. Okay, Ichikawa.
Not budging, huh? He's in over his head. If he takes number 6 out to the front lines, he'll be dead in no time.
And then we cut to the hair of Kikoru. No, it cuts to the hair. It's the hair of Hikari from back then. It's the hair from Hikari back then. Sorry, their hair is just so similar in their nature.
That being said, he doesn't seem like the type to listen to reason. You have a 1-month trial period. After that, I'm sending you out to neutralize Kaiju. I'm going to find out for certain whether you're cut out to wear number 6 on the battlefield.
And that's where we end chapter 59 of Kaiju number 8. So many things happened in this volume. Yeah, that's the end of the volume. So many things happened. Ladies and gentlemen, we start this chapter with General Isao being absorbed by number 9. And due to the fact that it was fusing with Isao, it wasn't in a state where it could fight both Kafka and Narumi. Then this was a good chapter, but it also means that things are about to get even worse from the Kaiju side. Because the thing that got me is 1, we lost Isao. 2, Kaiju number 9 can create other Kaiju. Finding out that Kaiju number 10 was created by 9, that's an issue. This is a Kaiju that can create other Kaijus. Threats that almost did a significant amount of damage to Hoshina, because Hoshina was, going all out fighting number 10. And to think that Kaiju number 9 is capable of not only evolving, but also creating other extremely powerful Kaiju. We also met some other captains as well. We see the resolve of Kikoru as she resolves to be strong, as she wants to become stronger so that she doesn't lose another person. She's lost her mother. Now she's lost her father. And number 9 is seen to be very comfortable looking like Isao with hints of Kaiju throughout its face. So now that's going on. But man. And Kafka's dealing with the fact that his body is slowly, permanently staying in like kaiju state. Like he's got a patch of skin that is now permanently that of his kaiju transformation. But yeah, Kikoru is training to be second only to Naomi himself. And now we have the whole idea of the visions teaming up with each other in order to face this kaiju threat. Because, like I said, things are about to get way worse. Way worse. But we see the resolve of everyone. Not only that, but Ichikawa is about to get his hands on some extreme power. Kaiju number 6, stated to be the king of kaiju. The same kaiju that possibly claimed the life of Kikoru's mother. And now Ichikawa has been seen as the one who is the most compatible to use number 6. But he blacks out as soon as he tries using just the pieces on his arms. So I can't wait to see what next week's chapter is going to bring. Because next week will actually be the start of April. Because the last day of March will be this upcoming Sunday. That's gonna no. No, the first day of April is on a Tuesday. Next Monday will be the last day of March. My bad, I had to correct myself. Please forgive me. Overall, Kaiju number 8 is getting even better, and I am looking forward to seeing where this story goes from here. Thank you for tuning in for yet another Kaiju Mondays as I read Volume 7 of Kaiju number 8. Next week will be Volume 8 of Kaiju number 8. So I can't wait to read it. But thank you for all the time you spent here with me today. All I can say to you is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!